All right, guys, we're back. We have the intestinal wall model here for you. All right, and as always, we're going to go step by step, slow as possible. This one gets a little more in depth. So here we go. The first thing we have are the three layers. Okay, and the first layer we come to is this guy right here. This is the mucosa layer. All right, so all this is the mucosa layer. Inside the mucosal layer, you have a couple things we need you to memorize. The first thing is going to be the simple columnar epithelium. So all these pink cells, the cells that look like normal epithelial tissue, that's what they are. So this is the simple columnar epithelium. Now the blue cells right here, these little blue dots, or baby blue dots, those are going to be your goblet cells. Okay, so the baby blue dots in here, those are going to be your goblet cells. The pink is going to be your simple columnar epithelial. All right, so the next thing on your list is lamina propria. So that is the gray piece here, all this gray lamina propria. Okay. The next thing on your list for the mucosa layer is the muscularis mucosae. This muscle layer right here, this pink muscle layer on the bottom or floor of the mucosa layer. All right, so remember this is inside the intestinal tract, so this would be the floor of the mucosal layer, and it is the muscularis mucosae. All right, so the next thing on your list is a villus. All right, so each one of these guys, so each of this is a villus. All right, so the finger-like projections into the intestinal wall. All right, inside the villus, you have this green lymphatic lacteal. So this is your lacteal. All right, that pretty much does it for the mucosa layer. So we're going to go to the submucosa. So the submucosa is from the muscularis mucosae, from here all the way down to the muscularis layer. So everything in the middle is the submucosa layer. So this is the submucosa layer. All right, so in our submucosa we have this big blue guy called a Peyer's patch. Okay, so this is the Peyer's patch, or also known as MALT, M-A-L-T. All right, so the yellow strings of nerves here, these are the submucosal nerve plexus. So all these guys here, everything yellow is the submucosa nerve plexus. It's the nerve plexus in the submucosa layer. Okay? So the next thing we have is the muscularis layer, which is from here to here. All right? So the most of the pink stuff. Okay? So all this is going to be the muscularis layer. Inside the muscularis layer, we have the circular muscles, which are these guys. And I'm going to turn it to the side so that you can see how they're circulating, going in a circle here. Okay? And the longitudinal muscles. See how they're running left and right? All right, and the ends, you can see the ends. So that's long bands here. All right, so these are the two muscles in the muscularis layer. This is the circular muscle and the longitudinal muscle. All right. The yellow nerve plexus here in this section, which is the muscularis layer, is the myenteric nerve plexus. All right, so this is the myenteric nerve plexus. Okay, so this yellow stuff right here, myenteric nerve plexus. Now, there's another gland that's called the Brunner's gland, or the submucosal gland. So that's this blue guy over here. This is the Brunner's gland right here. So this is the Brunner's gland. And then the last thing is the very last layer, which I'm going to lay this down. The very last layer, which are these two. And this is the serous layer. All right, so this is as deep into the intestinal wall as you get. So this is the serous layer right here. Now remember that everything in the abdominal cavity, this layer is called serous layer. If this layer is in the thoracic cavity, it's called adventitia. And we'll see more about that on the next model. So this guy right here is your serous layer. All right. All right, guys, that's the end of your list for this model, and we'll see you in the next model.